Hey everyone, it's Charlotte. Today I'm going to be doing a rose goldy rounded smoky eye look. Before we get onto that, if you can't see what you're doing, you're not going to do a very good job. Plus, you won't be able to get those gorgeous clear pictures for your Instagram account. Lighting is super important when doing makeup. Before I got a ring light, I was doing makeup by windows, using house lights, and sometimes the lighting was perfect, but in the evenings I was relying on kitchen or living room lights, and it did become a struggle. I now use the Pixapro Rico 240. It's an LED ring light, and because the ring is so big, it wraps right around the face, making my job a lot easier. So here you can see a shot with the existing light compared to a shot with the ring light, and now you understand why I can't live without it. Let's get started. To start off, I always prep the skin. Today I'm using MAC Comfort Cream, which is a staple in my kit as it's suitable for every skin type. Next I'm using NARS Copacabana Illuminator. This will give a really glowy look from underneath the foundation as it has an iridescent pearly finish. I find it best to use my hands when applying this as it really melts it into the skin. With a MAC 259 brush I'm using Prolonged Wear Waterproof Foundation in NC25. I always go in with a Real Techniques sponge just to soften the edges and get rid of any lines from the foundation brush. Now I don't want a massive focus on the brow, so I'm softly filling it in with the NYX Twist Up pencil in Espresso. I always start at the front and softly fade to the end of the brow. To give the brows a hairier effect, I'm going in with Rimmel Brow Gel in Mid Brown. This sets the brows and pulls them up slightly. To clean up underneath the brow, I'm using a MAC 252 brush and Prolonged Wear Concealer in NC15. This will hide any hairs under the brow and also tidy up if you've made a mistake. I only ever bring this down to the socket and then go in with MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. This prevents any creasing with your eyeshadow later on. I also bring this underneath the eye as a base for eyeshadow underneath later on. I also use Mineralized Skin Finish in Light just to set it to also prevent creasing. And now to start the eyeshadow. With a 224 brush and Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie eyeshadow, I'll be using this as my transition colour to help blend the next colours together. And the 224 brush is so fluffy it's going to help everything blend really seamlessly. Using the same brush, I'm going in with MAC Rule. This will deepen the colour and layer on top of the transition colour. I'm gently lifting the brow at the arch so I have more space to blend the eyeshadows evenly into the crease. Next I'm going in with a MAC 217 brush. It's slightly denser so I'll add more colour to the crease. And I'm going in with Tuscan Sun by Makeup Geek. This will create a rosier tone. Now mixing Passionate and Film Noir blusher together, I'm going back in with the same brush just to deepen the crease even further. I'm going to keep layering this till I get the right look that I'm after. I've put a little bit of Passionate onto my 224 brush to go back in to blend seamlessly. Eyeshadow is very repetitive as you have to keep going backwards and forwards with the same shades until you get your required density. And now using Passionate on a 239 brush, I'm going underneath the lash line. And now with Makeup Geek Bitten, I'm going back into the outer edge of the eye to deepen it. I'm bringing this slowly into the crease, but not too much as I still want the pink to show through. Now I'm going in with a clean MAC 224 brush just to soften out all of the edges. Using a MAC 219 pencil brush, I'm going into the inner corner with Makeup Geek Sparkler in Light Year. This is going to really brighten the inner corner of the eye and make it pop. Using a MAC 252 brush again with the Prolonged Wear Concealer in NC15, I'm creating a half moon on her eyelid just below the crease. Using the same brush, I'm going in with Topshop Shuffle the Cards. Now every makeup artist should know this colour. It's a gorgeous peachy pink sheen. And again, I'll keep packing this on until I've got the desired effect that I'm after. With a MAC 239 brush using Makeup Geek Bitten, I'm just going over the outer edge of the eye. I lost some pigmentation in the crease, so I'm just going back in and dabbing it to create a really dense colour. Using a Zoeva 315 brush, I'm applying Maybelline gel liner along the lash line. Now I've used so many different gel liners and I've found this to be the most black and really creamy to apply, so I get a really precise line. So there's no gap between the crease shadows and the liner. I'm using a 239 brush on the outer edge with Makeup Geek Corrupt to blend it in. Then going over the lash line with a 212 to set the gel. Going into the waterline, I'm using Perversion Pencil Liner by Urban Decay. This is a really creamy, really black pencil and applies like a dream. Then using a Zoeva 230 pencil brush, I'm using Corrupt eyeshadow just to smudge it down just below the lash line. And then going back in with my 239 brush with Passionate and Bitten on, I'm just going to blend back up to where we've smudged the black down. To clean up the eyeshadow fallout, I'm using a wipe with Garnier Oil Infused Cleanser on, so I'm not pulling the skin around the eyes. And then to fill the area that I've just removed with my wipe, I'm using a 286 brush with NC15 Pro Longwear Concealer on. And then to blend it into the skin, I'm using my Real Techniques sponge again. Going back in with my 159 brush, I'm using the NC25 Pro Longwear Waterproof Foundation again. I used my brush to apply a base coat and then blend in with my Real Techniques sponge. Going back in with the 286 brush, I'm just filling round the eyebrows where I can't quite get to with the sponge. Where the foundation's been removed around the brows, I'm just going back in with my Espresso pencil by NYX and filling in any gaps that were taken away. After that, I'm going back in with my gel. And then setting the brows finally with my Rimmel brow set. I'm pressing MAC loose powder under the eyes with my sponge to set the concealer. I'm not blending the powder in yet, as this is going to soak up any oils so the under eye doesn't crease. For lashes, I'm using my absolute favourite lashes. These are Primer Lash 35s. These are quite natural, so perfect for a smaller eye and a rounded eye makeup look. I found duo glue to be the best. I apply it to the lash, set them down for about 30 seconds to go tacky. I apply the lashes to the middle of the eye and then fix the inner and outer edge when I'm happy with the placement. Now using a MAC 137 brush, I'm just brushing away the powder from underneath the eye. To add colour back into the face, I'm using MAC Mineralised Skin Finish in medium dark on a Real Techniques multitasking brush. I apply this to the centre of the face, cheekbones and forehead. To deepen the colour, I'm going to use MAC Dark Golden Mineralised Skin Finish. I like to call this bronzing, as I'm contouring with a bronzer. I'm going into the cheekbones, the forehead and the nose. Now for highlight, I'm using my e.l.f. brush. This is the cheapest brush I own and it's one of the best ones to apply highlighter. Using the Anastasia Beverly Hills So Hollywood. Whilst we're on the topic of highlighting, I want my inner corner to pop even more, so I'm going back in with my Makeup Geek Sparkler in Light Year. To blend the natural lashes with the falsies, I'm going in with Maybelline Colossal Mascara. This is extra black, so it's going to really intensify the lashes. After putting lashes on, there's always some glue showing, so to make the lash line extra black and cover this, I'm using Rimmel Waterproof Liquid Liner. And again, to prevent printing, I'm setting this with Makeup Geek Corrupt on a 212 brush. I did get some fallout from this eyeshadow, so I'm going back with my 137 brush just to sweep it away. Just to finish off, I'm going back over my highlighting, cheekbones, nose and the top of the lip. After using many powder products, the face can start to look a little powdery, so I'm using Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray to make it look like skin again. And as you can tell, it smells unreal. I'm lining the lips with Spice Liner. This is a peachy tone, so it goes really well with the eye shades that we've used. For the lipstick, I'm using Peach Stock by MAC on a Zoeva 237 brush. This is one of my favourite lipsticks. And finally, a little finishing touch, I'm going back in with Shuffle the Cards in the inner corner. And voila! It's finished! Hope you enjoyed my very first tutorial. If you did, give it a like and let me know if there's anything else you want to see. And subscribe for more videos!